We're starting a new unit. This will be coordinate geometry. This will look a lot like Algebra 2, but we're going to do it a little different. And that's because you need to know how to do geometry on a coordinate plane. So make sure that you write your name on your foldable so that you don't lose it. And go to the first flat. This is midpoint and distance, and you should have seen this in Algebra 1, but if you didn't, that's okay. We're going to go over it. All of these use x1, y1, x2, y2 as little subscripts. All that means is that we're talking about two different x's and two different y's. So it looks like this. This point could be x1 and y1, and this point could be x2 and y2. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one you make 1 or 2, as long as you make both the x and the y1 and the x and the y2 of the other one. You couldn't have this one being x1 and this one being y2. That would not work. You have to keep the 1's the same and the 2's the same for the same point. For midpoint, you would use this formula. You basically take the average of your x's and the average of your y's, and that gives you the midpoint. You add the two x's together and divide by 2, add the two y's together and divide by 2. Or if you happen to have a graph, all you got to do is find the middle. So all that you would do is you would count all the way across. Let's say we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's say we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Then you would make sure it's in the middle. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then you would have to put it in the middle, which is right here. Then you would go up. And on this side, you would put it in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would go 1, 2.5. So this would be my midpoint. But it's not really there, of course, because I drew fake lines. My midpoint is actually about right here. And then that would be your midpoint. As long as you find the middle of this. Find the middle. And find the middle. And actually, you only really need to find one if you're given a graph. If you are not given a graph, then you're going to need to use the formula. Words to look for that mean midpoint is center, middle, I think that's it. The distance formula uses the same subscripts, x1, x2, y2, y1, so just make sure that you name them both the same. So both of these are 1s, both of these are 2s. You could make both of these 1s and both of these 2s. That's okay, as long as it is the same. Now, if you are using the distance formula on a graph, please do not do that. It is so much easier to use Pythagorean theorem. This looks like a right triangle because it is. So you would name one of the legs A, and you would just count. And if this whole thing, if you counted 8, like if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then this would be 8. This would be B. So if you counted this whole thing to be like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then B would be 5, and you would use the Pythagorean theorem. It is so much easier than using this horrible formula that they give you. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And words to look for distance are things like how long, or the length, or of course the word distance. Find the midpoint and distance for each of the following. It's very easy when we're given a graph. You just connect the two dots at a right angle, like this. And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one is 7 up and down. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the midpoint, we just need to find the middle. So 1, 2, 3.5. And 1, 2, 3 on this side since it's 6. And there's my midpoint. That midpoint is negative 1, 1/2. So that's your midpoint. Your distance you'll use Pythagorean theorem. So 6 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared, which is 36 plus 49 equals c squared. And to undo the square, we take the square root. So this is the square root of 85 equals c. Now we need to figure out if we can reduce the square root of 85, so you need to do a factor tree in order to figure that out. So 85 is 5 times, 5 will go into 8 once, and 5 will go into 35 7 times. These are both prime numbers, 17 and 5, so we cannot go any further than that, and none of those numbers double. Like it's not 17 times 5 times 5 to make 85. So we're just going to leave it as the square root of 85, and that is our answer for the distance. Okay, whenever we're giving two points, you need to designate your x1, y1, and x2, y2. So for my midpoint, we take the average. So 2 plus a negative 4 divided by 2, and 6 plus 2 divided by 2, which is really negative 2 over 2, and 8 over 2, which is negative 1 and 4, is your midpoint between those 2 points. For the distance, if you want to use the Pythagorean theorem, and you're only given 2 points, what you need to do is find your change in x and your change in y, which means you just subtract it. So what is 2 minus a negative 4? 2 minus a negative 4. Well, that's 6. And what is 6 minus 2? 6 is y1 and 2 is y2. 6 minus 2 is 4. And you just, well, here, you will end up taking the square root, but I think it might confuse you at this point. So equals c squared. 6 squared is 36. 14 squared is 16 equals c squared. And 36 plus 16 is 52 equals c squared, and take the square root of both sides. We need to figure out if anything will come out of this square root. So we need to do a factor tree. So 52 is 2 and 26. 26 is 2 and 13. And you see how we have 2 2's? That means that they can come out of the square root, because what that really is 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So a 2 could come out of there. So this 2 will be on the outside, and the 13 will stay on the inside. So if you have a pair, they're going to come out as 1, and if you just have a single, that'll go back on the inside. A pair, so these 2 right here, will come out as 1, and then the 13 stays on the inside. And that will be your C, is 2 times the square root of 13. So same thing on this one. Find the midpoint. So we just find the average. That's negative 1 plus 2 divided by 2. And 4 plus 7 divided by 2. Negative 1 plus 2 divided by 2 is a half. And 7 plus 4 is 11 over 2. And you can leave it like that. You don't have to find decimals or anything like that. I'm okay with you leaving it like this, as long as you know about where 11/2 is on a coordinate plane. If you don't, then write it as a decimal. So this would end up being 5.5, and this would just be a half. Distance. negative 1 minus 2. Negative 1 on this x minus 2 on that x. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3 squared. Plus 4 minus 7. 4 minus 7 would be negative 3 squared. So negative 3 squared, negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9, and this equals c squared. 18 equals c squared, and the square root of both. So we got to do our factor tree of 18. 18 is 9 times 2, and 9 is 3 and 3. So we do have a pair. Remember, your pair comes out as 1. So 3, this pair, both of them, comes out as 1. And then under the square root is where your single gets put. So that's where your 2 goes. So 3 square roots of 2 is what's left. And we are done for the day.